led to have him extradited to Ghana. Also, NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Pibu released from Iyoko after meeting bail conditions. Much later, we will be treating how fuel prices have dropped for the 7th time in a row, but consumer groups say reductions still fall short as CD strengthens further. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. Please stay. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Let's settle for the details now. An former finance minister is a wanted man again. That is after his failure to attend upon an invitation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor to answer questions in some 5 corruption-related matters. The OSP says it is taking all actions to have the once powerful minister returned to the jurisdiction.
Many are those who anticipated the response of the Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabin to details by lawyers of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta that he could not make himself available to investigators from the OSP who have been awaiting him since February of this year to answer questions in some 5 corruption-related matters. In some dramatic fashion, the Special Prosecutor, who detailed the trajectory of events involving his office and the former Finance Minister and his lawyers, will declare him a wanted man again. Only this time with extra steps to have him returned to the state.
The OSP redeclares that Mr. Ofori-Atta is a wanted person and a fugitive from justice. His name is hereby re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure Mr. Ofori-Atta's return to the jurisdiction and to answer to the criminal inquiries against him. In pursuance of this, about 30 minutes before this briefing, I triggered processes for the issuance of an Interpol red notice for the location and provisional arrest of Mr. Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta in whichever jurisdiction pending extradition or his surrender. Around the same time, I dispatched a request for extradition processes to be instituted for the provisional apprehension in any jurisdiction in which Mr. Ofori-Atta may be located or found, and his extradition to the Republic of Ghana.
For Kisie Jabin, the former Finance Minister has acted in bad faith up until now, one that will no longer be countenanced.
From 20 to 21 March, when he said he was going to have the possible medical intervention, surgical intervention, upon which reckoning we indulgently said, oh, take some of the days, recuperate. So he suggested he will come between 14 to 30 May. We said, oh, take a few more days, come on 2nd June. How friendly can we be beyond this? After accommodating you, you sat by for at least 67 days when you knew your condition had changed, and you never bothered to tell the OSP that there's been a fundamental change in your condition. You're acting in bad faith, utter bad faith, and for which reason we have stopped this party.
He told journalists that charges will officially be slapped on the former Finance Minister in the coming days.
OSP will prefer criminal charges in the courts against Mr. Ofori-Atta in due course, whether in absentia or otherwise. The principle upon which we proceed is that no person, regardless of title, regardless of status, regardless of medical condition, is beyond the reach of inquiry by the OSP.
Well, meanwhile, private legal practitioner Martin Pibu says lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta have not advised him well on handling the charges brought against him by the OSP.
The lawyers for Ofori-Atta should have given a full dossier, knowing that OSP will have to do confidentiality. They can't put it out there. You remember, let me bring you one example to show confidentiality. When lawyers wanted a lot of the stuff that Cecilia Dapa gave OSP in the pending Patience Butchery case, OSP fought it in court that no, they have confidentiality agreement with the FBI. They couldn't release all of the documents, etc. Finally, Justice Marie-Louise Simon had to order. OSP had lost that application. So the judge had to order that, give it out. So the point I'm making is that OSP knows confidentiality very well. You know, Mr. Ajabin generally is a smart lawyer. Of course, there are times I've disagreed with him, right? So I think that is the lawyers who didn't do a good job. They didn't give enough information to be able to get an extension.
Let's still stay on this matter because the Office of the Special Prosecutor says it has uncovered a 280 million corruption scandal at the National Petroleum Authority. The prosecutor said it will soon file criminal charges against first batch of perpetrators.
The OSP investigation has revealed that between 2022 and 2024, some high-ranking officials of NPA devised and implemented a corrupt scheme of using public office for profit through threats, intimidation, coercion, suggestions, bribery, and inordinate regulatory duress to obtain for their personal benefit. As at the close of business on 30 May 2025, the OSP had uncovered, through tracing and trailing, an amount of 280,516,127 cedis and 19 pesos, being proceeds of the corrupt scheme, some of which has been used by the perpetrators to acquire identified and traced apartments, suites, houses in country and abroad, 22 fuel haulage trucks, and the incorporation, acquisition, and operation of oil marketing companies to compete with the oil marketing companies they were regulating. The OSP, before the end of June, would file criminal charges against the first batch of the perpetrators and complicit oil marketing companies and their officials. Upon filing, we will brief you in detail in respect of who did what, who acquired what, and what has been recovered.
We'll still remain on the OSP because the presser was held yesterday and we have to tease up a bit more because the theories aren't matching the reality on the ground. That is the blunt assessment from Ghana's Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabin as he calls for a radical reimagination of the fight against corruption. He has urged stakeholders to move beyond abstract frameworks and theories and instead anchor anti-corruption efforts in practical and in realistic strategies.
In many aspects of everyday life, there's often a glaring gap between theory and reality, and the fight against corruption is no exception. While policies and frameworks look good on paper, they frequently fall short where it matters most on the ground, where real people face the consequences of graft and abuse. Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabin wants a change as the theories do not match the practice.
The theories are not bearing out what we are encountering on the ground. The theories do not match the practice. Let us forget for a moment what the white man tells us works. They are not working. And there's a reason why. They do not apply in our context. Let us change the nature of the conversation. Let us own our own processes. And let us fashion things to fit our situation.
To effectively tackle corruption within the Ghanaian context, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has proposed an anti-corruption chapter to the Constitutional Review Committee.
And we have called for a dedicated chapter on anti-corruption with a framework definition of what we mean by corruption. And we have called for the constitutional drafters to express society's opprobrium in the Constitution and how we want to fight corruption.
Kisie Jabin further made damning revelations with regards to ongoing investigations within the Ghana Health Service and the Ghana Education Service.
We are seeing unbelievable forms and new forms which really is mitigating against education generally and healthcare provision. In your sector, we are finding that some surgeons are performing surgery without the need for it, just because they want the money. In your sector, we are finding officers claiming monies and facilities for non-existent schools. In your sector, we are finding that people are carrying around laptops with the Director General's signature on their laptops, giving out appointment letters.
The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Samuel Kaba Akoria, bemoaned the fatal impact of corruption in the health sector. For his part, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis, outlined areas within the education sector still plagued by corruption and called for urgent action to address them.
Now, away from the office of the Special Prosecutor, let's bring you one of the fast-paced developing stories where the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Pibu, alias Chairman Wontumi, has walked out of the premises of Iyoko office after finally meeting his bail conditions. This was disclosed by his lead counsel, Andy Apiakubi, on Monday, June 2, 2025. Speaking to journalists gathered on the frontage of Yoko, Mr. Apiakubi said they have met all the bail conditions. Chairman Wontumi was granted bail to the tune of 50 million Ghana cedis with 2 sureties to be justified following his arrest on Tuesday, May 27. Although officials of Yoko have not formally charged him, the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Remsai, revealed in a post on Facebook that he is being investigated in connection with money laundering, among others. Let's bring you another story where the President, John Dramani Mahama, has expressed confidence in the Asante Hene Otumfuo Tutu in his mediation efforts at ending the long-standing Boko conflict. Speaking during a courtesy call on some chiefs and elders of the Ashanti Kingdom, the President is hopeful the conflict will see a resolution soon for lasting peace to return to Boko.
Reverend Owusu Mafo, Black Star Experience.
Among your greatest national contributions is your successful mediation of the long-standing Dagbon chieftaincy crisis. Through your steady hand and moral authority as chair of the Committee of Eminent Chiefs, you led Dagbon from years of painful division into an era of reconciliation and renewed leadership. Today, the Kingdom of Dagbon stands united and strong, thanks to your tireless commitment and your unifying spirit. Once again, at a critical time of our nation's history, you've stepped forward to assist our nation in another moment of great need. Your Majesty's ongoing efforts to mediate the Boko conflict, though complex and challenging, offer our country a renewed sense of hope. Through quiet diplomacy and cultural sensitivity and unwavering resolve, you are helping to pave the way towards enduring peace in one of the most fragile areas of our republic.
Let's now bring you one of our headline stories where for the 7th consecutive time, fuel prices at the pumps have been reduced nationwide, offering some relief to motorists and businesses. However, fresh concerns are emerging from consumer advocacy groups, including the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, over what they describe as insufficient price cuts, especially in light of the cedi's continued appreciation against the dollar.
Star Oil now sells a litre of petrol at 11 cedis 77 pesos, down from 12 cedis 99 pesos. Diesel has also dropped by over a cedi, now going for 12 cedis 49 pesos. Gold has also slashed petrol to 12 cedis 52 pesos, while Allied is selling at 12 cedis 15 pesos. The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies says the reductions are largely due to the cedi's significant appreciation, gaining more than 13 cedis in just 2 weeks, from 13 cedis 99 to 12 cedis 15 pesos to the dollar. But consumer advocates say the drop isn't enough. Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amoa, believes OMCs are not passing on the full benefits of the cedi's strength.
Unfortunately, it is woefully inadequate. If you look at some of the major oil marketing companies, I say this on the back of the fact that we knew this was going to go down. We expected it to go down. by a certain margin. Unfortunately, what we are getting is some appeasement, one that suggests we will give you some reduction, but you won't get what you deserve.
With crude oil prices inching up globally, but the cedi showing resilience, many are watching closely to see whether OMCs will offer deeper cuts in the coming pricing window.
And that'll be all for the morning news right here on TV3. Many thanks for joining us this morning. New Day continues right after the breather. My name is Safwa Bwahine. Have a wonderful day.